This week I revisited some fragrances and also brought out some new ones, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future videos, and also make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But that's right, another week, another rotation of video. If you aren't familiar with this series that I do on a consistent basis, we basically go over what fragrance I wore on each day, how many sprays, the kind of weather, and of course if that particular fragrance got any compliments or not. So let's not waste any more time and get right into Sunday. All right, so Sunday happened to be in the low 50s and rainy outside, and I wanted to pull out something that was kind of just relaxing and put me into like a zen mode. And this is a fragrance that I actually gave a really bad review from one of my favorite houses, and it is a Louis Vuitton, and this is of course one of the newest releases, Pacific Chill. If you watched my review, you already know that I was not a fan of this, and honestly I still do stand by that review. However, I wanted to revisit it and see if it changed my mind at all, which it really didn't, but now I have a much better understanding on what this fragrance is made for, and it's just perfect for kind of like a relaxing Sunday day like we had on that day, especially with the rain. But with Pacific Chill, I did do 3 sprays of this one, and this one kind of actually does put you into like this detoxification kind of mode. It's very, very fruity from this apricot, which is my least favorite part about it. The performance is definitely lackluster, especially on my skin. I don't know about you guys, but on par with like Afternoon Swim, which we know isn't a good performer as is. So don't expect this one to perform good either. Anyways, that's what I pulled out and revisited for Sunday is Pacific Chill. So Monday happened to be in the low 40s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out a very easy reach that I do reach for quite often, especially if I don't want to go for the real thing. This is a clone, of course, and it is Alexandria Fragrance's Black Panther. Now, I don't really have to talk much about this, especially if you watch my channel. You already know all about Black Panther. It is a clone of Bulgari's Tiger. If you don't know, that's actually my signature scent. So anytime I really want to wear my signature scent, especially if it's not like a special event or special occasion or just going to work or whatever, I usually either reach for this or some other clones of Tiger, and this is one of the best without a doubt. And I did do 8 sprays of Black Panther, and the performance is absolutely incredible. It's about the same, even might possibly be even better than Tiger, which is crazy to say because this is like a quarter of the price of Tiger, to believe it or not. No compliments on that day, but still always a go-to for me if I don't really know what to wear and I just want to smell absolutely fantastic, because you really cannot beat this scent profile. Tuesday was in the high 30s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out one of my old go-tos back in the day, and I haven't reached for it in quite some time, especially this version of it, the original, and it is Armav's Club de Nuit Intense Man. Now, like I said, I haven't worn the EDT in ages. I usually go for the EDP, which is a much more well-balanced, smoother version of it. However, I just kind of wanted to revisit this one, and it's crazy because this used to get so much hype in the community. Not so much anymore. I don't really see people talking about it, but still, very good dumb reach that smells excellent. It is I guess a clone or inspired by Creed Aventus, a smoky Creed Aventus. If that's up your alley, this is for you, especially at the price tag. But I'm sure, of course, all you guys know about Club de Nuit Intense Man. Also did my go-to 8 sprays of Club de Nuit Intense Man. As we know, this is a powerhouse, especially when it comes to the projection of it. The longevity wasn't as good as the EDP. That still does perform a little bit better, but still, you will get noticed with this one. I didn't really get any compliments on that day of it. And from my experience, guys actually like this one more than women do. So be prepared for guys to come up to you and ask you what in the world you're wearing, because something about this scent profile just like screams masculinity, and they always want to know what you got on. Wednesday was also in the high 30s and cloudy, and I went with something that was a blast from the past, guys. One of my first fragrances in my collection, and it is Chanel's Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Now, don't hate me for this one. I know this gets a ton of hype, a ton of love in the community, and still does, but for some reason, I've never really been a big fan of this DNA. I always thought it was kind of forgettable and boring when it comes to the scent profile, especially from a house like Chanel. It's minty. I believe it has some sage in here that gives it some aromatic qualities, as well as that smooth tonka bean, but there's something about it just is really, really boring. I guess I could see it maybe being good for like a gym scent, hence the name Sport. But believe it or not, I actually prefer the original Allure Homme all the way back from what I believe the 90s, which may be a little bit outdated now, especially compared to this, but still believe the original is still better than Homme Sport Extreme. I do want to try Allure Homme Edition Blanche, which I heard smells like a lemon cake. So let me know down below if I should check that out. But I did also go with 8 sprays of Allure Homme Sport O Extreme. And honestly, kind of wish I would have went with something else because I was stuck with this one all day and wasn't really the most pleasant thing. And also got no compliments with it either because, like I said, it is somewhat forgettable. Thursday was in the mid 40s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out a brand new fragrance in my collection that I've been wanting to get my nose on for quite some time now, especially since it first got announced. I was like, yes, I had to smell that. And it is Nishane's Hacivat X. Now, we all know about Hacivat, probably the most popular from Nishane, and one of my favorites hands down. That beautiful, vibrant pineapple that dries down to that signature oak moss. Now, this one actually goes in somewhat of a different direction, even though it's still recognizable as Hacivat without a doubt. Still get that very fruity, vibrant pineapple in the opening, but it's actually alongside this very juicy lime note. And for me, when I think of the note of lime, I always think of that as like the most refreshing citrus note in fragrances. And this is a much fresher version of Hacivat, and it also removes that oak moss, which a lot of people might actually prefer because I know the oak moss wasn't everybody's favorite in the original, and it actually replaces it with this earthy vetiver note. And how I would explain it is this is kind of like what aventus cologne is to aventus as Hacivat X is to Hacivat. It's a much fresher, easygoing, crowd-pleasing version of the original Hacivat. And I can see women much preferring this one. It also could be more unisex in the original as well. I personally don't know which one I prefer. I've only worn this one once, which was that day. So I still have to test it and wear it a little bit more and compare them side by side and make up my final mind. But it's gonna be hard to pass the original Hacivat because I'm actually a fan of that oak moss in the base. However, I did do 8 sprays of Hacivat X. The performance is on par with the original, which is known to be a beast mode fragrance, so no complaints with that. And I did get a compliment from a coworker. She's like, what are you wearing today? Because it smells very good. So that just goes to show you right there that women probably prefer this, because if I was wearing Hacivat on that day, I probably wouldn't have got a compliment from that person, especially hours after applying it when I did get a compliment, because it would have been in that very almost like mildewy oak moss base that the original is known for, and it's not the most pleasant to the masses. So that's what I put out for Thursday is Hacivat X. All right, heading into Friday, it was in the mid 50s and actually sunny outside, so we had some sunshine going on, and I put out another brand new fragrance in my collection from one of the most kind of top tier quality niche brands that have recently dropped in like the last year or so. And it is coming from Mind Games, and this is the new Rue Lopez, which is within their Soulmate collection. And this one actually stood out the most to me because I'm a big fan of Gabanna and Plum as listed on the front, but there's a lot more going on, guys. This is a very boozy cherry fragrance. You get this cherry note in here, you get the rum note, and you also get this very like aged oak wood in the base. So if you like cherries, you like boozy notes, you like woody notes, this is definitely one that's worth checking out, especially if you like high quality niche fragrances. And probably one of my favorites from Mind Games now, and I believe I own around 8 in the collection, so this one is definitely up there. I mean, how could you not enjoy a good like boozy cherry fragrance? And this one is actually very unique. It doesn't smell like lost cherries, so don't get those two mixed up, even though that is kind of like a boozy cherry fragrance as well. Completely different. This is a much darker. And on that day, I did 6 sprays of this one, just did some shopping, stuff like that. No compliments from Rue Lopez, but man, I had a big smile on my face while wearing this one. All right, wrapping the week off on Saturday, it was in the high 50s, so it was a little bit warmer than the prior days, but it was cloudy outside. And I was in the mood for maybe like a playful, fruity fragrance, and this is by far one of my favorite fruity fragrances in my entire collection, and it is coming from Byron Parfums, and this is a Mula Mula. Now, if you're a guy watching this one and you think fruity fragrances lean a little bit more feminine, which a lot of cases they do, this is going to be for you, because this is one of the most masculine fruity fragrances on the market in my opinion. even though it's very, very unisex still, but it could be pulled off by a guy absolutely perfectly because you get this basket of fruits in the opening. I believe like strawberry, raspberry, peach. You also get this very like dewy caramel note. However, the dry down is by far the best part. You get this creamy vanilla, you get this earthy patchouli, and you get this dark, like really rich oud that makes for a beautiful, unique blend of notes. It's fruity, it's earthy, it's woody, it's also very creamy and spicy, and it's just so addicting. Now, on that day, I actually did do 6 sprays of Mula Mula. The performance is a beast mode with this one. I believe these are extrait de parfums as well. Yes, they are. And I basically just like spent time with family on that day, kind of chilled out, stuff like that. Got no compliments from Mula Mula. I was just in like a fruity delight on that day. So worth checking out without a doubt. Now, that's gonna wrap up my weekly fragrance rotation. As always, leave a comment down below the fragrance you guys have been pulling out because I love seeing everything you guys are wearing and rocking as well. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you haven't already. And you already know, I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.